committee stage of the Employment Relations Amendment Bill number 2, and part 1 in particular, which is definitely the substantive part of this bill, part 2 just dealing with inconsequential matters. Just want to pick up on a comment made by the previous speaker that this bill is really a result of a one-liner in a manifesto that's been not well thought through and ideological. I absolutely refute that. In particular to the 90-day extension, virtually every other country in the OECD has this trial, 90-day trial. Well, it's actually longer in many countries, so our 90 days is actually extremely moderate. This is certainly not well thought through. It's been very well thought through, and it will be good. Good for workers, good for employers, and good for our economy ultimately. Mr. Chair, I would like to focus on the 90-day trial extension to all businesses. As you will be aware, in 2008, our policy was really just pertaining just to businesses of less than 20 people, and this bill proposes that it is extended to all businesses, no matter what their size. This bill will be giving businesses confidence to expand and diversify, and importantly, to employ workers that don't have a work record, and these people might be migrants, they could be youth, students, or women returning to the workforce. Mr. Chair, I think it's important to note that you can't just pluck jobs out of thin air. Businesses have to want to offer jobs to workers, and the only way that's going to happen is by giving businesses the confidence that they can increase their business and employ more others. Mr. Speaker, this government is absolutely focused on creating jobs and growing the economy. And we have a number of measures around this, which include tax reform, trade, and congratulations to our Prime Minister for the free trade agreement talks that have started at APEC. Research and development is another way we're going to do it, also boosting infrastructure, among others. This legislation does dovetail perfectly into our government's plan for growing the economy, lifting standards, and moving forward as a country. And it will be doing that by giving businesses confidence. It's really quite a simple comment, really. It will give businesses confidence so they can employ more and expand, have greater productivity, and we as a country can move forward in the background of this economic recession that we've been facing. Jobs aren't plucked out of thin air, Mr. Chair. They aren't plucked out. And the surveys that we have done to date show that 80% of employees were still in employment once their trial finished. And they weren't fired or let go or dismissed or just at day 89. This is not a fire at will bill, as the opposition likes to call it, and that is absolutely the truth. It's a very moderate policy, Mr. Chair, as I've mentioned before. Heavens above, many countries have trial periods much longer than 90 days, up to a year in some countries. We are only one of 2 countries up till now who didn't have it before we had the trial, 90-day trial. Denmark was the only other country that didn't have a trial period in the whole of the OECD. We were clearly out of step with the rest of the world. We are not marching alone on this. We are with many other countries. The sky hasn't fallen in those other countries. This is a policy that will work for business, work for employees, and will work for the country as a whole. There has been it's been positively received, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to just quote one employer who talked about this bill. And I'll quote it, "I felt that under the last Labour government, the odds were well and truly stacked against small businesses. The cost of employing someone was 6 times more when they were voted out than had been 3 years earlier. We have used the 90-day rule, but the person would have been sacked anyway. For stealing, Mr. Chair, it would just have taken a little longer and caused more stress to other employees and the business." Mr. Chair, there was a very interesting survey done by Human Rights Commission called Conversations at Work, and it actually really, a whole lot of myths were absolutely thrown out the window, and one of the myths was that employers are bastards. They are not. Their survey showed that employers treated their employees like family, and let's face it, you have to have a good working relationship for a business to go forward and to grow and be productive, and it was very much of a family affair for many of those businesses. Many other positive comments, Mr. Chair.
I call Carol Beaumont.